I once booked an Airbnb by myself in an area in Arizona that I had a job interview. Since it was so far from home, I decided to make a short trip out of it. I chose this particular Airbnb because it was much cheaper than any hotels I could find. It was about half an hour away from where I'd be interviewing, which was fine with me. The place was off a dead-end, secluded road and had a nice view of the desert in the backyard. I brought my laptop with me to get work done during the day, keeping myself busy most of the time. I stayed for 3 days, with the interview scheduled for the second day, a Tuesday. I would be leaving on Friday. The night before my interview, I was practicing interview questions on my laptop in the living room of the small house, around 9 p.m. Suddenly, there was a tap at the window. I say tap because it wasn't exactly a knock. It sounded more like someone's finger. My head swung to the left in reaction. I didn't see anyone, but it was pitch black outside. I was scared to look out the window, but I had to be brave and just do it. However, there was no one as far as the eye could see, just darkness. Maybe it was a bug hitting the window. We have some pretty nasty bugs here after all. The next day, after getting through my interview, I explored different parts of the town in my car, tried different restaurants, and sat in the backyard, relaxing in the sun. Little did I know, I was likely being watched while I was in the backyard that night. I was inside watching Breaking Bad on Netflix when it happened again, a single tap at the window. Now it was obvious it wasn't a bug. I was even more disturbed now. Once again, I rushed to the window, even though I saw no one. But that didn't mean someone wasn't out there. I checked the windows by the front door, then opened the door and looked outside for a second. Since there was no one there, I went back inside and then went to the back door. I stepped outside onto the back porch and looked out to the desert behind the house. Silence and darkness. And then I heard a click, a sound someone made, like clicking their tongue at the roof of their mouth. It was off in the distance, beyond the light from the house. I felt as though someone could be hiding behind any number of those bushes, watching me and toying with me. I yelled out, and, almost as if they did it in response, there was another click. I pinpointed the direction it came from and looked that way. I could see someone now standing not too far away, dressed in dark clothes blending into the darkness of the desert. I started walking a little closer, then stopped, realizing I didn't want to get any closer to that person. I called out, "You're on private property. I'm going to call the cops if you don't leave." I saw the person eerily quickly walk away. I theorized it was the Airbnb owner, but obviously that was a stretch and I didn't really know what to think. The following night, I was in my bed on my laptop, watching Breaking Bad again before going to bed. I think I watched 2 episodes, so I was doing this for about an hour and a half. I didn't hear any noises in the house, though I was definitely giving thoughts to that encounter from earlier while watching the show. When I finally turned off the light in the room and tried to fall asleep, within 10 seconds, there was a click sound again, muffled from inside the closet. I looked at the closet door, which was open just a crack. Then, in a pretty natural response, I sprang off the bed, still in my PJs, and ran to the car. I sat in the driveway with the car running and called 911. I stared at the house as I spoke to the dispatcher, waiting to see if someone would come out because all of my stuff was still in there. A police car arrived, and upon entering the house, we did a quick investigation together. It was very small, with not many places to hide conclusively. Still, I packed my stuff and left that place that night for a nearby hotel. I contacted both Airbnb and the host, and I was only able to get a partial refund for my stay. I still think it may have been the host of the Airbnb. I mean, who else would have access to the house?